What's
Yo,
going
yo,
on, man?
yo,
We
yo,
are back.
yo.
Tis a football Friday, special football Friday. Father's Day is coming up. So we got Wayne. I don't know. You a dad?
I am. Yeah, I have a 14-year-old daughter.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got these
All right.
teenagers in
Happy
here.
Father's Day. Yeah. So we got the four dads on here. We're gonna talk some football. We want to give some love to the fathers out there watching, listening. All you, even if you don't got children, you got little fur babies. You are a father as well. So
Shout out to all the fathers, man.
shout out. Um, Okay, I know. I want to. We kind of talk in this background. I want to cross sports a little bit with the whole
We're
John
gonna do a
Morant
little a
situation.
little
That's
pivot, right? A little pivot, a
yeah.
little side, little, you know what I mean?
Little Bob and
Um,
Weave.
yeah, little Bob and Weave. So John Morant, they issued out his suspension. We didn't get too much information on it. If I was Kyrie Irving, I would be highly upset about that because they told everything about my situation when I was Kyrie Irving. They've been a little hush hush on this on this John
Hmm.
Morant thing. But NFL had a similar, not say similar, but you know, almost a parallel situation with one Damon Arnett that used to play for the Vegas Raiders, and he is no longer in the NFL right now. And the NFL, some of you guys don't know, there's a slogan um, that goes along with the rookie symposium. When you get your little welcome packet to the league, it says no one player is bigger than the shield. The NBA needs to adopt that in situations because I think they allowed the inmates to run the asylum a little too much for my taste. That's just Melvin. Um, but yeah, I just think the NFL knows how to handle these situations a little bit better because when you step your toe over that line a little too much, you are now working at Costco.
I don't think
So
it's a little bit better. I think the NFL handles it damn near perfectly.
yeah, I mean that's like I said. I don't want to offend other people, so I say a little bit.
Well, no, I will.
I mean, I don't necessarily say that when it comes to the NFL and the NBA, I get how the difference is, right? Like the NFL has a moniker known as the No Fun League, and the NBA is known for being more of a players' league and stuff like that. But in regards to the John Moran situation compared to the Damon Arnett situation, me and Mel kind of talked about it in the background a little bit. Um, when you're online threatening people and you're showing the guns that you're threatening the people with, it holds a different weight compared to somebody just in their car stupidly playing with their firearm, right? Now, in regards to the punishment, I think it goes, like I told Mel, I think it goes deeper than just 25 games, right? Like everybody's looking at the preface like, oh yeah, it's 25 games. He's going to come back and he's probably just going to have the same season, but he's not. He's not going to be up for any NBA honors. He's not going to be up for any NBA first teams. And it doesn't matter what kind of season he has. He's not going to get any kind of postseason award. So he's missing out on all of that. Not making an NBA team, just like he didn't make it last year for missing 3 games, or that continued on to more games. He missed out on an NBA first team or NBA second team, cost him $40 million. Right. So like looking at it deeper, like 25 games, yeah, that may look light, but missing out on all that and plus missing out on not only $40 million last year, but you're gonna miss out on another probably more this year. Yeah, that's not only hitting the heart, but that's definitely hitting the pockets. And like you said, Mel, like if I'm gonna make an example out of you, bro, like I'm coming for your money, G. You got a daughter, you got a kid, you got a family. Like what's gonna hit you more? Me suspending you for games and suspending you for the whole season? It's like, yeah, you're not gonna play the whole season, you're not gonna get no money. But at the end of the day, what's gonna feel worse? You sitting on your ass, not playing, and you're not gonna get no money? Yeah, sure. Or you doing all of that hard work only to turn around and then look at you like, yeah, look at this bag. Now look, hold on, wait, because look at this bag. You could have had this, but you did something stupid. So now we're gonna take this and we're gonna go put it back in our little vault over here, and hopefully you can get your shit together. Because if you don't, guess what we're gonna do next year? We're gonna let your ass go. You're not gonna be on our team anymore. That's how that's gonna go, right?
Well,
so
that's why I say that's why for me,
I'm looking at the punishment. I'm like, okay, I get it. Yeah, 25 games is light, but in the totality of everything, yeah. Go ahead and eat that, because you gonna feel that more than you just sitting on your ass at home all goddamn day.
That's not to mention if you sprinkle on top, he misses a nod for another All-Star team too. Because he'll be back. He'll be back like right before the. He'll be back right before the All-Star break. So
that's extra money. So he's not going to make an All-Star team.
Granted, it is a fan voted thing, so they could.
He's still gonna make it.
They could vote him in because remember that year that Pachulia had no business being a goddamn All-Star and got voted in, got like 20-something million fucking votes.
That's true.
So there's a chance, outside chance, but a chance. But you're right. He is missing out on a lot, awards-wise and everything else. And it actually, if I did my reading correctly, it plays into his future as far as a max contract goes.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of other underlying factors, but if I'm him, I'm more worried about my endorsements.
Yep.
Because what if Nike would have dropped you?
That's my point. But that's the whole thing for me is just that it's got to be at some point, all of these professional athletes, I get the no role model situation that, everybody likes to throw out the window and like, oh, well, he's not a role model. You need to. I was like, but there are kids that look up to these people. And you have a bigger responsibility, whether you're playing baseball, football, basketball, hockey, you have a bigger responsibility to not do that. Bigger responsibility. So that's, I don't want to get too caught up in the basketball world. I just think that what they did was
definitely dive more into this.
Because
this is definitely another conversation. Wayne, any thoughts about this?
Well, I know that we were talking about comparing it to the NFL and how they handle different types of punishments and whatnot. And I do think that Adam Silver has shown a record of being definitive in what he decides to do. Whereas what I will say that the downside to the NFL is I feel like they kind of wait and think, like, what do the fans want us to do? Let's see what the fans say first. Then we'll decide our punishment based on that. And I think the example of that, obviously, we look at, Tom Brady. I'm obviously a Patriots fan, but Tom Brady getting 4 games for something they couldn't even prove. They just wanted to suspend him for 4 games. And then we look at somebody like, Ray Rice, right? So Ray Rice, the video is seen by the league. They see the video. They don't suspend him. They make his wife apologize. And then when
no. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
Then when the video comes out to the public, you get the public outcry. Now he's suspended for a year.
Okay, now this is a good one. I'm glad you brought that up.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we're gonna get this. No, it's a good point, but not all the information was correct. Okay, 1, the outcry was warranted. They didn't make his wife apologize. She came out herself, and because we only got half the video, the reason why the NFL didn't suspend him right away was because they had the whole video. We only saw the incident from the elevator. We didn't get from outside the casino or the hotel or whatever it was going in where she was hitting him all the way through. So the NFL's mind was both parties were at fault. It was effed up, yada, 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 yada. The outcry came because I think it was TMZ or whoever reported the incident only showed the elevator portion of it. And if you just look at the elevator portion, it looks nuts. It looks crazy. That's all, it does look nuts. But she had to come out and apologize that she was drunk. She was hitting him. And she pretty much provoked the situation is what ended up happening. But like I said, the outcry, the punishment was, they did lean heavily on the public outcry of it. And that part I don't agree with. I really don't. Because if you stand on something, stand on it. That's it. Just stand on it. If you came to a conclusion that look, we talked to both parties behind the scenes, we got it all together, yada yada yada. It didn't warrant a suspension. Stand on it, regardless of what the outcry is. Stand on it.
Yeah, because we saw it for the longest time. Everybody said, "Oh, they got Ray Rice wrong. They got Ray Rice wrong." I'm like, well, they only got it wrong because we allowed, and spoiler alert coming soon, we allowed the court of public opinion to sway everything. Because look at the situations with 2 other running backs. Ironic that a lot of this involves running backs. Look at Adrian Peterson and Kareem Hunt situations too.
Ain't that the truth?
Kareem Hunt was verbally provoked. by a woman calling him a word that we don't need to say. And yes, should he have kicked her in the head? No, he should not have Randy Orton punk kicked her. No, 100% he should not have. But
No.
you cannot provoke somebody with racially charged verbiage because verbal abuse is no different than physical abuse. It's all abuse no matter how you look at it.
The
Now-
Randy Orton punk kick is taking me out, bro.
Sorry, it's the wrestler in me. But then, like I said, but then you look at the Adrian Peterson one, and it was because of the way he punished
He
his
disciplined
children.
his child.
Now,
Yeah.
depending on what era you were born in, most of us would have seen that as no big deal. Because I don't know about you guys. Well, actually, I do know for a fact, especially Mel in this situation, we were products of the switch, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We had this conversation,
yes.
well, I think a couple weeks ago with Wayne.
I
My
literally just had this
great-grandmother was a
conversation
product
with
of this,
my aunt the other day.
Yeah, like my great grandma was the psychological killer. She would make me go pick my own switch,
Facts.
my own ass whooping, and if I picked the wrong one, it was not a good day. But
Facts.
it was my fault that it was happening. So it's like, granted, I was a lot older. I forgot how old Adrian Peterson's kid was at the time, but I was
Like
at least
six.
at least of elementary, middle school
Two.
age where I knew what was going on. So I was like, all right, yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, I had this coming. But I didn't think either of those were warranted. But it took like a whole investigation. Oh, let's put Adrian Peterson on the commissioner's exempt list. Like, let's do like all this shit to come up with one decision at the end of the day.
Right. And then
I would
what?
say-
He got suspended for how long?
Ooh, his was.
He got the year. He got the year.
Yeah,
Right?
he got
paid.
the whole.
He was on the
He was on the
commissioner's
exemption list for like a year, and then the suspension ended up being smaller because they gave him credit for the exemption, even though he was getting
Right.
paid. But even still, it should not have taken that long,
Absolutely.
Right.
like for something like that.
Right.
And like I said, that's why I like Adam Silver, because I feel like he makes a decision, it's done. He doesn't take the public opinion. It's like it's done. I made a decision. It's over.
I don't. The whole. I wouldn't say it's done because what he does, how he disciplines, is very, very to me, is very inconsistent and is based solely on who is getting the punishment. That's just me. That's just how I view it, how I see it. We can get into that with the basketball people when the basketball people show them face.
Well, at
we
least
don't get into this football.
At least in the language of it, it does say that there are conditions that must be met. So that much similar to the Kyrie Irving situation. So what those parameters are, don't know.
Yeah.
Don't really care. But it's there, it's written, so we'll find out. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But it is a football Friday, so let us
Let's get to the football. Exactly. And like I said, it's a football Friday, and Father's Day is coming up this weekend. So like I said, I think we touched on it during the draft a little bit. So I just want to shout out some of the football fathers from the NFL. The Brian Greaseys and the Bob Greaseys of the world. Who else do I got here? I just wrote some names down real quick. Shout out Archie Manning, because Archie, you did it, sir.
Arguably the most famous football family in the NFL, like arguably.
Yeah.
Like there's a Kelsey conversation, and then there's the Long brother conversation. There's the Bennett brother conversation. Like there's a couple other, but the Manning brothers are pretty. And you got a third one that's on the way that could potentially. We'll see what happens in college, but and then one.
And this is like I said, this is. Yeah, I'm gonna focus on the dads because it was the dads. John Bosa did a great job with Nick and Joey. Jackie Slater, great job with Matthew. Howie with Chris and Kyle. Ed, even though Max didn't pan out too much, but
yeah,
Christian, he out there balling. Yeah, so just shout out to those and all the other ones that I missed out. Football probably has the best legacy as far as father-son situations goes, and we love them for it.
I'm not gonna let you slide without dropping Samuel Senior. I'm not gonna let you do that. It's two Patriots fans on this panel. I'm not gonna let you get away with that. Sertan Senior. I'm gonna throw that.
Asante Samuel.
I'm not gonna let you slide without. I'm not gonna let you slide. I can't do that.
I apologize.
Yeah.
So
my favorite one is offensive guard out of Ohio State, Wyatt Davis, who was drafted by the Vikings. His grandfather is Hall of Famer Willie Davis, but his dad is Dwayne Davis. And if anybody's seen the movie The Program, which I think is the best football movie of all time,
phenomenal football film.
ever, we're going to do.
football
Hey,
programs,
Yeah.
football movies.
we are going to have a little. We're going to talk about the program. So that, thank you, Wayne.
We're,
That's why
we're,
you on the show.
we're gonna
Alvin
dedicate
Mack.
a whole episode to football movies, the greatest football movies. We're gonna get a whole top 10.
Yes, we're gonna do our top 10 football movies of all time. That's the next top 10 we're gonna do.
Yeah.
The
Wayne, you the man for that.
linebacker Alvin Mack is Dwayne Davis. That's Wyatt Davis's dad.
See, did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, that the program is one of the top 3 football movies of all time, like without
We got,
question. Without question.
We got
Without
former
question.
tight end from the Seahawks, Pharrell Edmonds, dad of
Yep.
Trey Terrell and Tremaine Edmonds.
Yep.
So it's producing
Lot
that
of,
trio.
lot of, yeah,
Okay.
a lot of legacy,
And then
and
hold on, wait. Let me go ahead and give a shout out. Because I know a lot of people don't.
Okay.
People
My
don't
daughter gave me
realize
this.
this. They don't necessarily get this. So shout out to Sean and Ed Hockley, man.
oh, the
see what you did
Hockley.
there.
Yeah.
Dad
see what
and
you did there. I
son,
like
man.
that.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Sean and
Shout
Ed
out.
Hockley.
That's huge.
Yes.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
Mr. Super Biceps himself.
Yes. Biceps. So let's get into this free agency. So Dalvin Cook put out a little report saying that he was just gonna take his time, let things simmer before he makes his decision. So uh, we touched on it a little bit, but I don't think Miami was his first choice. I think now that the landscape has kind of settled for him and he has his pick, I think he's going to be real strategic in it. Real strategic.
Well,
Um,
yeah, the big thing with that is that he's from there. He's from Miami. So
Right.
like that hometown part, especially for an older player, it definitely plays a major part in a decision. Because you wouldn't mind finishing your career going home.
if
True.
if you accomplished more than what he has in his career.
True, but who's to say he does not be a big part of what the Dolphins do? Because he can.
That's also
We
Yeah.
had this conversation about these teams that don't have 1,000-yard rushers, and adding Dalvin Cook
Yeah.
can do that for you.
Yeah, I also think when I say accomplished, what I mean is if you had a Super Bowl already, going to the hometown team and finishing it off there would be a great send off. But I don't know his motivation. I don't know his motivation.
I mean, look, bringing the
Um,
Super Bowl to Miami would be massive.
Absolutely.
Oh, it'll be. But do you think that's a Super Bowl team?
Yes, with the additions they had in the offseason, and if Tua can stay
I would
upright,
say so.
I'm not going to say no, because you don't bring in quietly Jalen Ramsey, and you already have the weapons that are in place. You have the Miami track team, like we keep calling them. It's 100% realistic that they could make a run, because we talked about this. The AFC is an arms race. Who's got the best
Yep.
weapons? Granted, they did
Yeah.
lose Mike Gesicki to us, but
The,
they still have a solid 1-2. How many teams have two
Yeah.
receivers that good? Not
it's
a lot.
crazy you would say arms race and two is their quarterback. Like,
Here you go. Here you go.
like
Look, you're not
Like,
gonna
that
act like Tua
would
ain't
be-
gotta look. He only got to have an average to above average deep ball. It ain't got to be perfect.
it's got to be better than that when you got two dudes out there running 4.2s.
Look,
Like,
the numbers say clearly they did just fine.
I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to get those guys in space and have them work
Yeah.
with football.
That
But
too.
I'm not going to count Miami out because
Hell
just
no.
considering how they started last
Okay,
season,
I
and
just don't trust the quarterback.
I mean, I can understand that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can understand that because I feel the same. You know how I feel about Alabama quarterbacks. But if I feel like within that system, and if you can add 1,000-yard rusher, somebody consistent like a Dalvin Cook, with that defense and those weapons, I just feel like they got a chance. I feel like you can't count them out because anything can happen, and especially with that hot start. If they can maintain to his health and make sure that he stays upright and everybody on that offense stays healthy. Yeah.
And we're not going to sleep on the fact that the Mike McDaniels is probably one of the better young coaches that is in a solid position to be successful, coming from that Shanahan tree
Yeah.
that is very
No.
creative. And you saw the offense last year. It was a very good creative offense, even using, you're using Raheem Mostert and all those, older running backs. But if you bring in Dalvin Cook, and now if Raheem Mostert's my number 2, come on, man. What do you mean? That is still one of the most dangerous running backs in open space, no matter how you look at his injury history. I don't want to see him on a stretch play because I know what might happen.
I get it, but like I said, at the end of the day, Noodle, like you can't rely that he gonna lollipop passes all game long, and if he gets hit, if he's even gonna be there.
Listen, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Jimmy G's made it to Super Bowls. I don't want to hear it. There are lesser quarterbacks that have made Super Bowls and been successful. I don't want to hear that.
Oh my
But they
god!
were,
Look,
but those guys, but those guys were leaning. Those guys were on defensive heavy teams.
Trent Dilfer.
Jimmy Garoppolo
Miami.
missed the most important throw of his entire career. Had he made that throw and catch the Deebo Samuel, the Chiefs may only have one Super Bowl ring. Like let's not sleep on the fact that actually happened. Like, and Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have the best arm, but he has an average to above average arm. Just like I know you like talking about my quarterback and Mac Jones, but listen, leave my quarterback alone. All right, his arm is not bad.
But those offenses play into those inadequacies of that quarterback.
They do.
This is the Miami offense. The Miami offense is based on vertical routes. No, you don't have a vertical. Yes, it is.
It's a West Coast based offense, just like they had in San Francisco. They have deep shots, but a lot of it is Tua rolling out of the pocket and making open throws and windows. That is most of how that's a West Coast principle offense.
Yep.
That is the principle of the West Coast, is bootlegging your quarterback and throwing in the window. That's why Jimmy G was so successful. He rolled out the pocket. Yeah. That window was wide the fuck open. He was able to make a beautiful throw. It's the same now. The difference is you have these two vertical threats who can blow the top off in no time. Mm-hmm. And that's the added layer you have to this West Coast based offense, because look at the way they run with the running backs and look at the way that they normally scheme things. A lot of the plays that Tyreek Hill made were in the thirds. They weren't always deep shots. It was a lot in the thirds. It was a lot of across the field. Yeah, no, that's West Coast offense in a nutshell.
No. And I totally understand all that. But the problem with that, how that offense exploded, it wasn't with Tua. It was with, who was the backup quarterback? Who was the other dude?
Shit. Is it McSorley? No, McSorley was
I can't remember whoever the backup quarterback dude that came in when Tua was hurt.
Skylar, whatever it is.
Was it Skylar Thompson?
Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, they think that. Yeah, Wayne's right. Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, because he could get the ball downfield. It wasn't pretty, but he got it. He got the ball further than 15 yards.
Yeah, so too. Like, there's plenty of film out there. Like go look at this. I hate looking at those quote unquote advanced stats, if you will. But go look at the air distance on Tua's throws. They actually were better.
Why do y'all do that? Leave that man alone.
Because he throws it. He throws it 80 yards in the air. It's like a fucking. It's like old. Remember Tecmo Bowl when you used to throw it and they go off the screen?
Yeah.
That's what Tua does.
Yeah, those same people. That's like the same people that tried to say early in his career that Michael Vick did not have a good arm, and I'm like, bullshit.
That's a lot. No, that's
Michael
a lot.
Vick had a rocket.
I never
like Michael Vick had a rocket,
have a good arm.
And he actually threw a beautiful ball. Especially,
Michael Vick
just watched the video yesterday, and I hate to bring this up because Mel, you're gonna remember this very well. The Eagles in the Washington game, where he obliterated them in the first half,
and Deshaun Jackson
immediately. And it was a phenomenal thing. And I was like, yeah, Michael Vick is that dude. Yeah, first play of the game.
From the 4 to the other 30.
Yeah, like that shit is stupid. I'm not saying that that's Tua, but I guarantee you Tua can get that motherfucker 40 to 50 down.
Tua would have got that shit to the 15, and it would have.
Leave my man Tua alone.
I would not compare Tua to Michael Vick in terms of arm strength. That's
no. We're just throwing this.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. But
Tua alone, okay? He's gonna be fine. He just gotta put a little umph in it, okay? He's a little more.
A lot of bubble screens and swing routes.
We're gonna find out halfway through the season. We're gonna put that
some shoulder in there too. A little bit of shoulder.
We're gonna call him bubble gum with all the bubble screens.
Hell no. Leave that for Dak Prescott. All right, let Dak Prescott do that. That's Dak. Let him do his thing.
Oh my god!
So
that's a straight for the Cowboys. I know y'all don't deserve it all the time, but sometimes you do.
So then, we're gonna have to come up with a new name for the Jets. We're gonna have to call in the New York Rodgers or the fucking New York Packers. I don't know, because they just signed Adrian Amos.
Yeah.
Too. So they got every Packer you could possibly. Anybody that was good on the Packers is now on the Jets. That's
Jordy Nelson come out of retirement and come play too. Shit.
If you wanna guarantee a spot in the AFC Championship, go out and grab half my team from the Packers, and we're gonna get there. Now, I don't guarantee us
Yeah.
going to the Super Bowl and necessarily scoring in this championship game, but I guarantee we're gonna get there.
Right.
I definitely don't think you're going to the AFC Championship. No, hell no.
No, I don't.
No.
I'm,
You gotta think about it like this: Aaron Rodgers.
The
As much
Jets
as I
are-
love Aaron Rodgers, he is the greatest. He is the greatest NFC Championship quarterback ever.
Is he the greatest NFC Championship loser?
Yeah, he might be.
Yeah.
That might be more warranted. But no, the Jets inexperience is going to get them bit in the playoffs. Like it just is. It's not a slight on them. It's just if you looking at the AFC top to bottom, no, they're not going to the AFC Championship. There's too many teams that can knock them off.
It's a dogfight, and they have no dog in that fight. That's the thing. Like
I'm
honestly,
really
I
looking
just don't see
forward.
it.
Yeah, I can't wait till week 8. I really want to see what the standings look like after 8 games. Like I think it's going to be a beautiful.
when they're
thing to see.
2-6. When they're 2-6.
I was gonna say
We
they're
did-
going
we
5
did talk
12
about
this year. I don't know. We're talking Jets and playoffs. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, that sounds. You see,
Yeah.
that sounds foreign. It doesn't even sound right. Like this isn't
Yeah,
the Mark
no.
Sanchez and Rex Ryan days anymore. Like miss me with that.
Yeah, 2-6.
my
It's not even
God.
gonna be pretty. It's gonna be real ugly, real fast with them. The Ravens. Lamar Jackson is, his words, excited to be playing with the legend Odell Beckham Jr.
Cool story, bro.
Was legend also his words?
Those are his words. Those are his
Yeah.
words.
No, I saw
Well,
that.
okay.
He
I'll
said he
say
was
it the way
him.
he said it.
He said he was.
He
him.
said he's a legend to guys like younger guys like his age. Like he's a legend, which is I agree. Odell,
I understand that point.
yeah, to him, to
But
those
then-
guys,
but you said he was him.
he said
I'm
he's
like,
him.
I'm
He
like
said he's
him ain't barely been on the field in the last 2 years. So him what? Him the best
Yeah.
of being injured or like what's going on? Like
him is Odell Beckham. Like that
Yeah,
is
okay.
him right there.
like look,
That is him.
I'm happy for Lamar. I'm happy Lamar finally has a bunch of weapons around him. That part is the most exciting part of it.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Odell is not going to be your best weapon.
I don't think
He's
so
not.
either.
No.
I
No.
doubt that highly. But
Odell he'll be the sprinkles on the cupcake,
which he should be.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
that's what he.
I think that's his job.
Like, and I have no problem with his upwards of age and trying to preserve his health if you really just use him as a number 3.
Mhm.
And I don't.
He's got to be your guy in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
exactly.
definitely.
Like you have
Definitely.
to preserve him for that. Now, I'm not saying don't give him his touches. Find a way because you will. And I feel like Munkin's going to take care of that with the way that offense is going to structure. But
Mhm.
you got some other problems in Baltimore with J.K. Dobbins talking about wanting a new contract already, and I'm like, fam, you ain't even been on the field that long.
No, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
you ain't.
contract.
Sir.
Like,
Yo,
like,
sir.
listen, hey, you want a new contract? You can sit out. Hey, Dalvin, you want to come play with us?
Hey,
Fuck the bullshit.
fuck the bullshit.
Hey,
I'll
that's-
bring Dalvin
I
Cook
said
in a heartbeat.
Kareem, you want to come play? Because we can get Kareem Hunt over here real quick.
I think them in Washington have been looking at Kareem Hunt, which I don't. The whole Washington thing is a little weird because y'all got like 5 running backs in the room, but
Yeah, but Kareem Hunt got the ties to
he does.
be enemy his rookie season. Actually, drafted him.
Yeah,
Yep.
before he punt kicked, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
So-
the enemy used him as a phenomenal red zone running back, and he was a phenomenal red zone guy. You could throw a swing route to him, and he could beat you to the edge. Like it was great.
Yeah, I mean his best season. He had what, the 1475
Yeah,
in Kansas City, and like
Yeah.
the 800 yards receiving. Like
yeah,
that's
he was an absolute monster.
Yeah.
We talked about him in the same conversations with Christian McCaffrey and all these guys. Like we absolutely did. Alvin Kamara, like we had these conversations about Kareem Hunt prior
did.
to him being suspended.
He was definitely top 10 running back in that season, like for sure.
Top 10, he might have
Yeah.
been top. He might have been top 5 in that season.
Hey, I'm not. There's no argument for coming from me from there because that season was phenomenal for sure.
Yeah, and Dalvin, like a lot, not Dalvin Cook, J.K. Dobbins has to understand. Let's touch on this real quick. I guess this is one of the things I want to talk about too, because I think we touched on it before, and I said that they totally devalue the running back position in the NFL. Like they can care. Wayne doesn't care about running backs.
I think they value
Wayne-
it perfectly.
Wayne despises running backs. Wayne would go. He'd go 6 wide receivers if he could. Wayne doesn't care about running backs whatsoever. So he doesn't. This conversation to him is ridiculous. But no, I think if you have that guy, I'm not saying all running backs are the same, but I do think if you
They're
have a
100% not the same.
generational talent- if you have a generational talent, if you have a King Henry, if you have a healthy Saquon, a healthy CMC, Like these guys deserve their due. They deserve it just as much as a healthy wide receiver in a Jamar Chase or a Justin Jefferson, a D Hop, a Devontae. Like those guys have places on teams, and you can't just replace them with anybody. You can't replace. Ask the Packers how easy it was to replace Devontae Adams. It's not. You can't do it. These
They
are
feel like
special.
they did.
These are special guys. Go ask the Carolina Panthers how they feel without CMC. Doesn't work. Like it's not. And the Giants are going to find out when they get rid of Saquon Barkley how it feels to not have a running back.
I actually agreed with what Saquon said, and he was right in what he said. And basically, what he said in a nutshell was, I'm not asking for all running backs to get paid top of the market value, but if you have a guy that's that guy, they should be compensated. The problem that we run into a running back specifically is when you're drafted, no matter what round you're drafted in, most of your prime is the beginning of your career, especially if you're a starter. So then when you're up for that new contract, and if you get franchise tagged, whatever, you're talking about being 25, 26 years old before you see your first big bag. And then teams don't want to pay because, oh, well, I'll just go draft another guy that's, 20 years old. And, he may or may not be able to do the same thing. But I'm like, if you have a guy like I didn't have a problem with Zeke's contract because of what he had, done, or even with Saquon, or CMC, like those guys. You don't find those guys. Most teams are running back by committee for a reason because there aren't that many of those guys. Most teams don't get lucky like Cleveland and draft Nick Chubb, who quietly just knocks off 100 yards a game like it's nothing. Like you don't even realize it until the fourth quarter.
Why the best running back in the league every year?
Yeah, like you don't get guys like Derrick Henry out of nowhere. They don't just fall out of nowhere. Like there's a reason there are elite players at every position, and they all should be compensated. Even if you have to tier base it, so be it. But there is at least 5 to 6 running backs in this league that should be making top of the line money, point blank.
And that to me, like if that's the case, I think running backs out of college, the elite ones, their contracts should be front loaded. If that's how you're going to see them, their first 2-3 seasons, everything should be front loaded. Everything. Because that's what if you're saying that's the best you're going to get out of them, then pay them for it.
See, and
if you're going to draft them,
if you're going to do that, you have to tie it to being drafted in the first round, which would make teams not draft in the first round. That's what would happen. But what happens if you got a guy like Bijan Robinson and you drafted him in the first round? There should be a scale. Whether if you're a first or second round running back, here's the scale. Now, what happens to a guy that was a third or fourth round running back and balled out like one of those elite guys? How do you compensate those guys for what they've done?
I say this is Melvin. I'm gonna put my GM hat on. I think when if you're going to say the running back position gets devalued quicker over time, then that's fine. I'm not going to argue with you on that. But then if you don't draft a running back in the first 2 rounds, they should be on 1-year deals so that they can restructure their contracts after that based off of production.
That's not terrible. Short-term contracts for those later round guys, that's not terrible.
Yeah. Because if they outperform it, they should be able to now restructure their contract based off what they just performed.
The reason it makes no sense is because you're opening a can of worms, and everybody's going to want to do it based on different positions. Like if you're I want that to happen because I think the NFL should do what the NBA does. I think NFL contracts should be guaranteed. I don't.
So I'm trying to open up because there's more risk involved with NFL players.
I just want running backs to be properly compensated because they take the most hits out of all positions.
Yeah.
Like they just do. And
offensive linemen and running backs,
like
those contracts.
Every single snap, you are deteriorating time off of their career, and they should be compensated accordingly. I said, you don't have to pay all running backs top of the line money, but if you have that guy,
just the ones that perform.
Yeah, you should pay that guy for that particular, production.
And my thing is that when it comes to production and contracts, like I don't care what you've done at all. Like if you ran for 2,000 yards a year and you were making $300,000 a year, I'm going to reward you by letting you go. Because
Wayne don't care about running backs. Wayne does not fucking care.
He said, "I'm going to reward you by letting you go."
That's right. If I think you,
he just said the man ran for 2,000 yards. You know what I mean?
I don't care what
consistently. Okay? 5 seasons, 2,000 yards. You're gone.
If I think he can give me 3 more 2,000-yard seasons, then I'm going to sign him to a 3-year deal. But if I think he's done, if I think he's worn out, I'm not going to reward him for what he did for me. Get out of here. I'll get somebody else.
But okay. Well, would you do it for a quarterback?
Only if I thought he could perform. I'm not going to pay anyone for what they did ever at any position.
But that's crazy because you can only base it on what they did.
You can base what you think you're going to do for sure. But we also know that running backs fall off a cliff at 27, 28. So why am I going to give him a second deal? Quarterbacks don't. Quarterbacks don't fall off that cliff until 35, 36.
Some don't even get to the cliff.
Yeah, some of them.
That's true, but I'm saying the ones who do, the ones who had 5 good years, they're probably going to get 5, 10 more good years. Running backs won't.
Wayne, I got to figure out what running back hurt your feelings.
No,
I got to find out who it was.
Everybody has their thought process. He's not wrong, and he could have a successful franchise doing it that way. It's not impossible. It'd be weird, but that means that his running back scouting room is phenomenal, is what that means.
I guess.
I mean, because you got to be finding these guys damn near every couple years, so his running back scouting room got to be A1.
But like his players of all time are running backs. I don't hate running backs, but
you hate running backs.
I don't value them in 2020.
You don't value them. So you hate running backs?
I don't value them. I don't hate them. I have no personal feeling about it. It's a business. Treat it like a business.
Oh my gosh.
Ridiculous. Crazy. This is, you know what, Wayne? Let's get on. Let's get to the Bills. Talk about.
Ah, my goodness gracious.
Get to the Bills.
The Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. So, front office and Josh Allen all said that they talked with Stephon Diggs and everything is cool and copacetic and Mr. Josh Allen says he'll take full responsibility on the Stephon Diggs situation, which he should, because you suck. Yeah. So, what do you guys feel about Mr. Josh Allen taking on the leadership role, saying it was my fault I wasn't throwing the ball to the best person on the damn field in a playoff game?
It's about damn time, Josh Allen. You should have been doing this fucking last 2 years ago. But I mean, sure, congratulations, sir. Try not to throw any more interceptions in the red zone.
Wayne, because you're an AFC East guy. Look at Wayne's opinion on
I think Josh Allen's one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. And
God damn it, Wayne. Why you gonna go from hating running backs to putting Josh Allen as the top 3 quarterback?
So I think he's one of the best. I think this is just kind of what quarterbacks do. They just, to try to smooth things over. I don't know if he actually feels remorse for anything he did last year. So I don't really care. He said it. Great. That's what you're supposed to do. Now next season, if he decides he's not going to force the ball to Stephon Diggs, I won't have a problem with that either. Like, just be a quarterback. Who cares? Say whatever you got to say to get the guy back on the field, then ignore him again.
Yeah. No, I'm
like ignoring people.
Yep. But Wayne's not wrong in both things he said. Actually, like, yes, Josh Allen, despite his red zone deficiencies, is still one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He just is, and that's fine.
Top 12.
Let you say it, but
12 is crazy.
The problem that you're running into is you have. I mean, obviously, Stephon Diggs can't go anywhere. He just signed an extension. He's got like a $90+ million contract. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
If they decided to somehow, some way trade him, they have a $31 million dead cap hit next year. They ain't trying to do that. So that shit ain't happening. But you also can't force feed Stephon Diggs.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
He said yes. You can.
I mean, you want Josh Allen to be the new Daniel Jones and lead the league in interceptions. That's what you want.
I mean, he did
he did that already.
I'm telling you right now, if he force feeds Stephon Diggs in week 1,
it's not force feed. I was going to say it's not so much force feed.
It is, because he will make Sauce Gardner a Pro Bowler week 1 if he force feeds Stephon Diggs, because Gardner's going to be guarding him in week 1.
Well, in that last matchup that they had, Stephon Diggs stuck his whole foot up Sauce Gardner's ass, but that's a whole other topic.
Did he score a touchdown though? Because the answer to that would be no.
I was going to say he didn't score though.
Gardner didn't give up a touchdown last year, so the answer would be no. You can say what you want, but he did not. He didn't score on him.
My boy.
As a corner, your job is to prevent that receiver from scoring unless you got safety help. A lot of times, Sauce didn't have safety help. It was 1-on-1, 1v1, me versus you. And Sauce Island had no reservations. He had no reservations on Sauce Island.
Well, don't make me treat Sauce like I do Revis.
No,
Don't
you're
do it.
fine.
I like Sauce. Sauce is my
No,
guy.
I like
I like
Sauce too. I'm
Sauce.
just saying the numbers and the film. Like, I'm not saying he didn't get beat deep. All corners will get beat deep at some point. It's gonna happen. But Sauce didn't give up 6. Not yet. He will. It's not like Trayvon Diggs, who gives up thousands upon thousands of yards and sometimes gives you interceptions. Like, he has very misleading stats. I don't care what anybody says.
He'll give up 200 yards
He gets.
receiving and then get
He'll.
you.
The problem is he'll get his interceptions on underthrown balls because he's so far behind fucking wide receiver.
Yes.
I hate. Look, he is such an overrated cornerback. It's funny. We're gonna get to the cornerbacks again, like this year's group of cornerbacks, overrated and underrated guys, and he's definitely gonna be on my list of overrated. Power rankings. GQ, you put something in the chat. You
I
have
sure
it up?
did. I sure. I got all my stuff up. Power rankings are up and the schedules are up when we get there. I'm ready.
All right, let's laugh about these power rankings.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go from 10 to 1 and let y'all react accordingly. So at number 10, we have got the New York fuck ass Jets. Number 9, we've got the
crazy.
Yeah, we've got the Dallas Cowgirls at 9.
How
Baltimore Ravens at 8. The Miami track team at 7. The Jacksonville Jaguars at 6. The Buffalo Digs at 5. The Cincinnati Bengals at 4. The San Francisco 49ers at 3, the Philadelphia Eagles at 2, and the reigning Super Bowl champs at 1.
Okay. Let's unpack this real quick. The 49ers at 3 is hysterical, given that you don't even know who's going to play quarterback. Like, you have no idea who's going to play quarterback.
What's more telling about this list, there are only 2 NFC teams on this list. That's more telling than the actual fact that it's the Niners.
And the 2 NFC teams that they have, I don't believe are going to be good.
Like, I don't believe the Cowboys. I'm not saying the Eagles are going to be like. I forgot about the Cowboys. The Cowboys don't really count, but they're there. But they don't really count. But the Eagles will be fine. I'm not saying they'll have the same record as last year, but they'll be fine. No,
the Eagles will be good. I don't believe until we figure out who's going to be the 49ers quarterback, I can't say they're a top 5 team. Like, I can't. Their defense is going to be dominant, but I don't think they're going to be able to carry them the whole season to be the one of the 3 best teams in the NFL. Like, just don't believe it. And the Cowboy love is ridiculous. They will never not. This is why when they fall, it hurts, because they keep putting them so damn high that the drop is amazing.
That's why when they fall, it's great, right? Because
it's great for us.
What can go wrong will go wrong.
And I'm gonna do this for you guys. So there was no Patriots in that top 10.
No, and there wasn't going to be yet.
Okay, but I would put the Patriots before I even thought about the Jets.
I'm not upset that we're not in the top 10, because it's when the season starts, we'll this is the way too early prediction. Yeah, like this whole power ranking list might even change by the time the preseason rolls around. Like, for all we know, hell, the Jets could drop to 26 for all we know. Shit, we don't know. But
yeah,
the crazy thing is, like, I will say this: if Brock Purdy wasn't hurt and Brock Purdy had a full offseason, I could completely justify them being 3, possibly 2. Like,
I still kind of high.
I do.
3, but middle of the pack.
Fair enough. The Cincinnati one, Cincinnati at 4. They've got to win the big one eventually. Like, they really do. Like, yes, I know they made it to the Super Bowl and they lost off of I don't know what to call that play, but they keep knocking. They keep knocking. They do give the Chiefs problems in the regular season, but when it matters, just like the Bills, they both fall short.
Yeah.
So
the Cincinnati Burrows.
Cincinnati Burrows. Jacksonville, I don't have a problem with Jacksonville at 6. I like what Jacksonville is building. I think they're going to be one of those teams to keep an eye on for the next couple years. I think they'll be really good. Trevor Lawrence should now only get better, because in his sophomore slump, quote unquote, he ended up having one of the better comebacks in the playoffs and took care of the anointed future quarterback in Justin Herbert and sent their ass.
Until we get Justin Herbert a real fucking head coach.
Yeah,
this was going to happen all the time.
Charger.
Yeah. The Miami track team at 7 and Baltimore at 8. Yeah, you can go either way with that.
That's okay. Yeah,
I'm not opposed to that. The Bills at 5, whatever. The Bills are going to do whatever the Bills do. Like, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Like, the Bills still don't have a run game, so I don't trust them in the playoffs. Like, if you don't have some sort of a run game, it's hard to be successful in the playoffs. Even the Chiefs found some kind of a run game in the playoffs. Like, you have to have some semblance of a run game, and it can't be your quarterback. Your quarterback cannot be your leading rusher.
Yep.
Now the case of the Bears and the Ravens is different. They have those type of guys. It's different. Even the Giants with Daniel Jones, he was damn near leading them in rushing until Saquon, got chucking. But your quarterback cannot be your leading rusher. I'm sorry, not in hell no, not never, not in the playoffs.
Not never. No, unless you got that type of guy. Like it's got to be Lamar, Michael Vick. It better be Randall Cunningham.
Even if it was Cam Newton, like it's cool, like but that ain't the case.
Yeah, no, he's not that guy. I threw something in there only because I got nostalgic. I was watching NFL films, and once you go iconic moments, and I kind of should have put like it didn't have to be like a big game or anything like that. Just something that you as a spectator felt iconic to you. And so I'm gonna pass the mic around. We're gonna get I want 5 from each of you. Just what 5 moments in football history you was like, I remember that. I will never forget that. That was one of my favorite things I ever witnessed. Let's start off with Wayne because he don't like running backs. And we know running backs.
My number 1 is Bo Jackson against the Seahawks. I mean,
oh my God, he just did that because he knows.
My all-time favorite player. He's my all-time favorite player, and so it's a little.
I was actually going to put that one. That's the Bosworth.
200 and something yards running over Bosworth.
Yep, that was. I was going to put that one on my. I was going to put that on mine. On mine too, because I love Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson's one of my favorite athletes of all time, not just football players.
Phenomenal.
Just athletes.
Definitely.
What else you got, Wayne? What else you got?
So then I have obviously Malcolm Butler's interception. That's against the Seahawks. Hey, Seahawks have got on here a couple times.
Something about the Seahawks, man.
Yeah, I got them. I got
the consistent with the Seahawks today.
Tuck rule for all the Raiders fans is a good one.
Charles Woodson was involved in that, not Darrell Revis, just so everybody knows.
And then 2 that aren't on the field. Whitney Houston national anthem is unbelievable. Still one of the greatest.
Okay, that's different. I didn't think about that.
Hey, that's a good one. I like that.
That's a good one. Yeah, I didn't even think that.
Me and Wayne think a lot because one of mine is a non-football thing too. Like,
and my number 5 is a non-football. It's actually a press conference. Playoffs, right? I mean, everyone's been saying that. Jim Mora.
Oh yeah. If y'all don't know who that is,
man, that man. That's up there with the practice press conference and you played to win the game and
they are who we thought they were.
Oh my God.
The Denny Green one. Dennis Green one.
Denny Green one is huge, man. Oh man, that is a hilarious press conference. Well, it wasn't funny in the moment. It was a really pissed off coach. Doing what coaches should do. No, true passion. It beats biting off kneecaps like some other coaches would say.
No, those are dope. I like those. Those are really good. Okay, see, this is why I knew it was gonna this was gonna be a good thing to do. What you got, G? What you got?
So I'm gonna start with my non-football one. Like I was still fairly young when the Whitney Houston one happened, so I'm gonna bring it more recent. And it was actually Chris Stapleton's national anthem, which I thought was for me it was the second best behind Whitney Houston's because I love Chris Stapleton's voice, and I thought he did being a veteran myself, he absolutely did the national anthem its just due. Like I was in tears. Like I got wet eyes because I was like, man, it's like, it brought back a passion that I've had for my entire career. But I just I loved it. We've had a lot of people do the anthem. Of course, we've had arguably the worst one in Fergie. That was the worst one of all time.
That was huge. That was bad.
But I was happy with Chris Stapleton's. My number 4 actually involves the Seahawks, but not in a negative way. It's actually the Beastquake. It's one of the greatest single runs I have ever in my life as a football fan witnessed. And I was just mind blown that one running back, one human did this to a team. And then the stiff arm at the end was like the icing on the cake to push that man like 9 yards. It felt like down the field. Like if that was mud, he would have buried that man in the mud. Like that's how hard of a push that was. Like I remember, you guys all remember back when sports science was a thing on TV and they talked about how much force that he actually ran with, and I'm just like, this man ran like a literal earthquake. Like, how the fuck
generated the next earthquake?
It is, but Marshawn Lynch is one of my favorite running backs. Like, you watch his career of running, you forget how great of a running back he is. He's actually he might be one of the most difficult running backs to tackle. Because I've never seen somebody so slippery. He's not as big as most running backs, but he's bigger than you think.
Yeah, and he's the rare combo of size and speed.
Yes, and he will either fuck you up or he'll just jump over you. And he
Yeah.
hurdled people, he slipped through people, and you're like, all right. Another one was the Minnesota Miracle. One of those I wasn't old enough to witness, but going back and when I watched film, I'm like, man, that was a hell of a. That was just, it shouldn't have happened, but it happened, and it was great. So I was a big fan of that. Actually, Peyton Manning's comeback against the Chargers at the time was another one that was huge for me because the Chargers owned Peyton Manning for a long time. Like Manning had some of his worst games against the Chargers. So to watch his comeback was just like he finally did it. Like he had a bad game. He had a bad game to start.
Yeah.
Like he
was terrible.
It was an absolutely terrible game to watch. But he did what really good quarterbacks do. He compartmentalized and he said, "I got to carry this forward." And number one for me is the Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons comeback, 28-3. As a fan, when I was there watching this Super Bowl and at halftime, I got so many people talking shit. Oh, what happened to your team? Oh, they finna get smacked. And Julio had the game of his life. And I was like, I remember doing this. I cracked open my Dos Equis and I said, just watch. If there's one thing I trust is Bill Belichick at halftime making second half adjustments. I will forever always trust that when it comes to him.
Yep.
And the adjustments were perfect. The Falcons took their foot off the gas pedal and they fucked themselves, and we did what we're supposed to do. We took advantage.
And that's my line.
I actually watched the rest of the game out of spite. Like it was like 28-3, and I was like, I wanted to go to sleep. But I'm like, God, I'm just gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch the rest of this thing.
And then look what happened. Ended up being a phenomenal game.
What you got, Mo?
All right. So my top 5 football moments in history. Kind of
everybody hi
out the blue. We got a special guest back in the building. How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I would say for number 5 would be. I would say it has to be the Beastquake, but it had to be the second one. The one he did against the Cardinals.
That was pretty good too.
It's not only crazy to do it one time. It's absolutely insane to do it twice. So that's absolutely crazy. Second, it's gonna be another Marshawn Lynch moment because that's my boy. I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Phenomenal press conference.
Yeah.
That's the best press conference I've ever heard in NFL history. And then another Marshawn Lynch moment. The interview that he did. These words resonate with me forever in a day. Okay, as a football player, run through a motherfucker face. Okay, when you run through somebody's face over and 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 over. Yeah, that interview was legendary. Okay.
Right.
Number 2. Sorry for all of my Saints and Reggie Bush fans, but initiation into the league, bro.
Welcome to the NFL, Reggie Bush.
Welcome to the NFL, young sir. Okay, Mr. Troy Brown had to put him on game real quick and let him know that it's not sweet around this way. So watch what you do.
A grown man crawled off the field that day.
And I'm gonna give the Saints fans back their credit because that interception by Tracy Porter in the Super Bowl against Peyton Manning was absolutely legendary because I called it. Right, I called it. I said Tracy Porter's gonna break. He's gonna take this to the crib. Literally called it. Turned around, went like this with him, like this. Turned around, didn't even watch the play. Turned around, went like this with him. It's like, yep, see, I knew it. Iced the game, and that was probably one of the most like legendary moments ever, bro. Just because coming from how they endured that whole season, the whole Hurricane Katrina, I lost a lot of family in that hurricane and that disaster. So that was just big for not only my family, but just for that city, bro. So that's probably one of the biggest moments that stick out to me.
See, I like this. This is good. This is good. All right, let me give you my 5. At number 5, y'all might be a little. I'm gonna go back with a couple of these. So, pardon my age. Steve Atwood or Christian Okoye. That was one of the things because Christian Okoye at the time, for people don't know, was called the Nigerian Nightmare. Talking about a 6'4", 250-pound, 4'3" running tailback. not a fullback, tailback. And he looked crazy. Because nowadays y'all got, the nice cute face masks and stuff like that. No, he had the whole with the bar down the middle of the face, had the neck rolled. He looked crazy. And Steve Atwater with the big shoulder pads laid him out. Because it was like the Red Sea parted for this situation to happen. It was like God was like, I want to see what's going to happen if I do this. And he got it. And Steve Atwater rocked Christian Okoye like it was nobody's business. Loved it. Loved it. But just that was it for me.
If you guys don't know what he's talking about, that's probably one of the, like, if you're like an actual, like a pure football player, you'll understand the energy that's coming from Mel right now, because as far as I'm football play, it doesn't get any purer than that.
Listen, all of you that played football that ever participated in the Oklahoma drill, that was the Oklahoma drill live.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes.
It was
like you couldn't be more live of an Oklahoma drill, like real life, real game application than that play.
Yeah. So that's number 5. Number 4, the drive. Joe Montana against the Bengals. Because I'm a football nut. Like, I love watching football. Like, I can do this. I can talk it. I can watch it. It was just amazing. Like, watching Joe Montana, that 49er offense, and Jerry Rice do what they do was a thing of beauty. Like, I know people love the 49er. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs and a lot of these other offenses that are happening today. And that's good. I'm not going to take nothing away from that. But those 49er offenses back in the 80s was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
As much as a hater as the 49ers, this is true.
Yeah.
Like, it's a thing of beauty. Where am I at? Number 3. Eric Dickerson. I'm going to do Adrian Peterson first. Because Adrian Peterson was going after Dickerson's record.
Yep.
And he was going into a game against the arch nemesis of the Vikings, the Green Bay Packers. He needed 208 flipping yards to do it. Even though he fell short, watching this man go attack it was a thing of beauty. Like, and he got 100, and who gets 199 yards? That's
Adrian Peterson does.
Yeah, like that's what made me mad. I was like, at least get the 200.
You could have manufactured a couple more carries for him.
Man, put that boy back in the game and let him get his bag, bro. Why didn't y'all? I'm still mad at them for that. I don't care. Put him in the game and let him get his bag, bro. Let him get that crown, dog. Like you telling me
y'all did. There's no way you can tell me he wouldn't have got 10 more yards. Like, there's just no way.
Because they knew he was gonna eat that record alive, bro. He was gonna break the 50.
If I remember correctly, Mel, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he averaging like 4.7 yards per carry in that game? Like, it was a stupid high number in that game.
Yeah,
like it was higher than because I think his season average was like 4.5, but he was averaging like 4.7 in this game.
Yeah, I don't know the average per se, but he was going nuts in that game, and there was no reason. Because I thought anybody who was watching it would thought like, we're about to watch it, because we've been waiting for the record to get broke. Like, we've been, there's been, we thought Barry was going to do it. Like, it was just, we was waiting. Didn't happen. But
how much money do you think Vegas won that day? Because I know there was a lot of bets. I bet Vegas cashed in that day. Bro,
but he was far, but he
was 9 yards short. Oh, Vegas probably raked it in.
They raked it in.
The house built a new house. They probably built 3 new towers after that.
Yeah, it was nuts. But I was on the edge of my seat just because I love it. Which would get me to.
You got a few new resorts out there in Vegas, so you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Which brings me to number 2 was when Eric Dickerson broke O.J. Simpson's record in 1984. It was the week before my birthday. And Eric Dickerson at that time was like my favorite player. And to watch him do what he did, like, Eric Dickerson was just smooth. Smooth. He was like, I don't know, like a Cadillac back in the day. Like, you see it, that's what you want. That's what you need in your life.
Eric Dickerson was the true definition of somebody running like a gazelle. I was just watching his football life on NFL Network, but he was the true definition of somebody running like a gazelle, bro. Like, the way he ran was so graceful and elegantly, and he just pull away from you as hard as you tried. It was crazy.
You
Not,
couldn't
not to
do nothing
mention
with
that
that
man has some of the slickest hair. We ain't gonna forget about that Jerry curl. Now that
You
Jerry
know what I'm
curl,
No,
saying? The Jericho with the
that mug
glasses,
look,
man. Stop
that
playing
mug
with
was
that boy.
that mug was wet while he was running, boy. That was some nice. It was wet. Like it wasn't nothing you can do about that. Like you might get
Yeah.
spun on and get some Jerry curl juice in your eye while getting spun on and getting run
So
over.
glow.
Like I was
Yeah.
just about to
And
say, Wayne,
let's
let his soul glow.
let it go. Number one, everybody had their own personal one. This one is my personal. I probably talk about it at least once a show whenever I get a chance to. And this is going to be personal and pointed at the two guys to my left. That would be GQ and Wayne because they are Patriot fans. This would be Desmond Howard's kickoff return in the Super Bowl. 99 yards. I was in the back of the end zone, took the picture right before he started doing the robot. Um, yeah, so that one's personal for me. And that's my top five.
Hey, at least you didn't say the helmet catch. I try really hard to forget that one, but it's so hard to forget because it was so painful.
That one is not, yeah, there was a couple on there. I wanted to throw Eli's pass on there to Mario Manningham
Yeah.
because I still think that was like one of the craziest throws
Yeah.
in
Oh no,
Super Bowl
yeah.
history.
My honorable mention is the interception return from Harrison in the Super Bowl. That's got to be
Yeah,
the biggest guy that's ever ran that far. That man needed a whole tank and a
he
half of
almost
oxygen
died.
to get himself back together.
My
Yeah, he almost died.
I think my honorable mention is going to be the second best receiver of all time, Larry Fitzgerald, in the Super
The
Bowl.
post.
That Super Bowl
Taking
was just
taking
that was a
that
great
smack
Super
to the-
Bowl.
That was a great
period.
Super Bowl.
It was a
Taking that
great
We're,
Super
we're
Bowl.
gonna break.
rib.
We're doing this. Like I
After-
said, we talked about it. We're breaking that game down.
Mind you, everybody was trying to talk about his speed, talking about he wasn't a breakaway receiver. He had no
Shit.
breakaway speed. He
He
said,
right there, in the middle of the field.
hold this.
Ask
Stop
the,
playing with me.
ask the Steelers how fast Larry Fitzgerald was.
Hold this. Stop playing with me.
I'm telling you.
Troy
My
Polamalu
honorable
still
mention-
chasing his ass.
Troy
my honorable
Polamalu
mention
and
would
Ryan
have to-
Clark, mind you.
I'd be throwing the Seahawks under the bus for my honorable mention yet again, which is Derek Thomas getting 7 sacks.
Mm.
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, hey man, sometimes it sucks to be a Seahawk.
I know that game hurt, like physically and mentally and emotionally.
Yeah. But in about 15 years, what will go down as a highlight moment, which does involve the Seahawks, will be DK Metcalf running down Buda Baker.
Oh,
That
definitely.
shit is.
Oh, yeah,
hilarious. I'm
that's-
sorry. You
Absolutely.
as a me being the resident track guy on this staff, that right there is the pure
Yeah.
definition
The epitome.
of God. Your ass got straight hawk down.
Hey,
by a
walk
Seahawk.
down. Okay,
Man, look,
hey,
you had
walk
no,
down.
you had no hope. Like when
Although-
Metcalf
No.
took off, you had no hope. I was like, that
No.
motherfucker fast. Like I knew he was
Yeah.
fast. He really displayed how fast because you got to realize how much ground he was behind Buda Baker 15 yards before he took off. So he had a head start
Mhm.
and then he caught him. Like that shit was impressive.
And
Yeah.
as a
Nah, he was
Patriots fan,
covering
man,
ground like crazy.
It's almost like I take the Benjamin Watson catching up to Champ Bailey right before the end zone.
That's
Cleaning
and
them up.
Yeah.
people. Benjamin Watson
Hey.
was faster than people forgot about too.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of people
he,
forget Benjamin Watson. He had them Hot Wheels on him.
he had some burners for a bigger
Yeah.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was those tight ends like them dudes like the Vernon Davises and all that. Like
We don't have a lot of
You-
tight
you
ends
don't-
like that. Not anymore. Not like that. Like I miss.
yeah,
those
I think
basketball
Kyle
players
Pitts. I think
converted to
Kyle
tight ends.
Pitts and just one other. Oh, like Darren Waller. Like those would be like the comparison
Yeah, those may
as
be
far
the,
as speed
like,
goes.
those may be the last of their kind though too. Like when we talk about looking at all those tight ends, even like a Jimmy Graham, like those basketball players converted to tight ends, like the Antonio Gates, like those guys who could just, hey, I'm gonna throw this ball up, go ahead and go get a rebound for me real quick. Like those,
Mhm.
the days of those guys, I mean, don't get me wrong, the athleticism of tight ends nowadays is insane.
Yeah.
Like a guy like Rob Gronkowski to be that big and that great, and then even Aaron Hernandez prior to him getting arrested, like he was Mike Evans as a tight end. Like that shit was ridiculous. Like the dude
He
was a receiver playing tight end, but he was built like a tight end.
Yeah, Gronk's career got extended because Mr. Hernandez had his issues.
Yeah, that's the right word. Issues. He was kind of on some John Morant shit, but
Yeah. Really. Okay. Let's knock down these schedules. Who we got today? We got
Absolutely.
Cowboys. No, who was
we have
it? Eagles.
We have Dolphins and Eagles.
Yep, Dolphins.
Dolphins.
We
Eagles.
got birds and fish. Birds usually hunt fish, but
and the fish.
Yeah.
so the question becomes: do we start with the Super Bowl losers, or do we start with the team that has a chance to make
No,
the Super Bowl?
we'll give the credit to the guys who made it to the Super Bowl, and we'll start off with this track team
All right, we'll start off with
first.
the Miami track team. All right, so the Miami track team opens up their regular season against the Los Angeles Chargers.
That's
So
a
that'll
good
be it. That's a good first game.
That's a good first game. I got
I do like that
let's
first game.
take the L on that one.
I like it because we get a chance to see what Kellen Moore puts in place for Justin Herbert. We get to see now with
Mhm.
Justin Herbert actually having somebody competent calling calls and plays for him, how that actually looks. Could look a lot better. It should look a lot better, but, time
It
will tell.
should.
Week 2, we have a visit to the New England Patriots. They will be coming to Gillette Stadium. That is a Sunday night football game. So that is one of the first primetime games of the season. So we'll see what our retooled, revamped defense and offense looks like when it's time for that game. I think it'll be a good game because it's in Gillette and it's not in Miami where we have a 10.5 some struggles.
Yeah.
But I
And
see
it's
no
good.
reason
It
why
won't
we
be
can't pull that game out in week 2.
I think that's going to be a
Yeah,
good
no,
game, a better game than people think, because that DB backfield with combined with Miami's weapons, that's going to be a matchup to see, honestly.
Like,
So
don't be
Yeah.
surprised if this is a low scoring game.
absolutely,
Because of the defenses. Like,
definitely.
this defense could neutralize the track team. Like, not completely, but for the most
They can
part.
No,
they can slow them
I
up.
got
They can definitely slow them up.
yeah. No, I got a lot of faith in Bill Belichick and what he's going to do this season. So
And I mean, and Bill's had some success at slowing down like Tyreek Hill from his Chief days. Like, not perfect, but enough to, keep
he
him
got a
at
blueprint
bay.
already.
But there's also a Jalen Waddle on the other side that we have to be accountable for as well. Week 3, the track team goes and plays the Broncos. Got a 1:00 game. That'll be interesting.
Oh, wow.
We'll see what Sean Payton's
No, I
influence
told you,
on Russell Wilson looks like.
The Broncos going to be. That's my sleeper team this year. So I got
Oh yeah,
that.
we had that conversation. We all were a year too early on them, and that's okay. No, the Broncos will be better this year. They will not, like, Russell Wilson will not have less touchdowns and toilets in his house. Like, that's not going to be the case this year.
Unless you're me, then it's always fuck the Broncos. But
Fair enough. But that particular game, that's a coin flip game. I do think that game could go either way. But I'm gonna give the edge to the Dolphins in that game.
I'm not
Because
mad.
even if Patrick Surtain stops one of them, he ain't gonna stop the other one.
And that's the thing I'm running with. Like, I get you got Patrick Surtain, you got some pretty cool you got some defensive keys, but you can't stop all of them. Like,
No, and Denver's also going to be most likely still without Javonte Williams, so their running game is going to be hurting a little bit as well. So,
yep.
And Miami will be able to run the ball and control the clock, so they should assume control of this game, but it still will be close. I think it's still within 3 to 7 points, still a close game. I don't think it's a blowout or anything of that sort, but I think I'll give Miami the nod just because they've already been playing together. And I think Tua getting a better offseason, hopefully staying healthy, and Mike McDaniel's really getting that offense churning the way it should be. I think because it's early in the season. If this was a Week 12 game, I'd probably give it to Denver. But early in the season, I'm gonna give it to Miami just because of the experience factor.
Okay.
Week 4, we got the Buffalo Bills.
They're gonna beat the shit out the Bills.
I think the Bills start falling off a cliff here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, at least their defense will be their strong suit. They should get all their defensive players back who were injured last year. I don't know if Von Miller will be back by that time. I know he's close, but you'll have Edmonds back. You'll have DeMar Hamlin back. Like, you'll have a lot of the guys that you didn't have last year because of injuries and obviously catastrophic situations. But their defense will be fine, just not in this game.
So no, I don't know if I put this in the group chat. Did y'all see the DeMar Hamlin meme with Mike Thomas?
I did. That was that was so jacked up. Oh, it was so jacked up.
It said DeMar Hamlin almost died and still came back before Mike Thomas.
Yeah, it was
True.
that was so cold. But
True.
it's not wrong. It's not wrong, but it was cold.
It's not. It's just so wrong.
Week 5, they have they place the Little Giants. Saquon may or may not be playing. We'll see what happens.
Little Giants.
Yes, ma'am.
Little Giants kill me, I swear, every time.
All right. Well, they haven't shown us to do anything big yet. So until they put their big boy pants on, they're gonna be the Little Giants. Like Like Daniel Jones hit puberty for the first
Also,
time last year. Like so.
yeah.
That's pretty much
Also
what
in the top 10 football movies of all time. Loser.
So Daniel
Definitely.
Icebox Jones.
Definitely.
I like that.
Yeah.
Week 6, we have the inexperienced offense of the Carolina Panthers with a rookie
Oh, that's
quarterback.
gonna be.
I
Yeah,
think
they
that's
might
going to
score
be a
8.
With
good
baby Bryce.
baby Bryce. For all my
That's
fantasy
gonna.
football players out there, I encourage you to start Miami's defense on that particular game because rookie quarterbacks and experienced defenses are usually a recipe for disaster. There will be interceptions
Jalen,
thrown in that game.
Really tough game that day.
Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard are going to go nuts.
Yeah, and there will definitely. I'm gonna put the over under on 5 sacks in that game. There might be more, but I'm gonna put the over under
Yeah.
on 5.
Just,
That's not me making a slight at the quarterback. It's just rookie quarterbacks and experienced
No.
defenses. It's just usually not a good recipe.
and their edge rushers, are going to get there. Bradley Chubb, and I forgot the other dude's name on the other side. Yeah, they coming. There's going to be a game of Madden on rookie. It's going to be ugly.
Hell, who's he throwing to?
DJ Shark.
Yeah, okay. We saw this.
Man.
We saw this before. We saw this in Jacksonville and in Detroit. And
Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen is.
Oh yeah, they did add Adam Thielen because I wanted New England to sign him. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Is he going to stay?
You got to see him first.
That's
You got to
true.
see him. He's got to be able to see him.
Hell, they the same height.
No, Adam Thielen's taller than me.
That's just Adam Thielen just looks short on TV.
Oh my gosh.
But it's okay. Receivers can be short. Quarterbacks, different story.
Oh shoot.
All right. Week 7, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles. That's gonna be a damn. That's Sunday Night Football. I think that's gonna be a damn good game. That's two teams.
I think that might be a good game, actually.
That's two teams that's two really talented offenses and two really good defenses. That's gonna be a better game than you think.
But only one got an offensive line.
All right. Which quarterback is taller? Which quarterback is taller? Is it Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts is definitely tall.
Yeah, definitely. Jalen Hurts like 6'2".
I don't think it's by much. I mean, Tua ain't super short, but he's not super tall.
He's like 6 feet. He's like 6 feet, 6'1".
Tua is 5'11", and they added that extra inch on paper.
That's cool. They gave him 5'11".
But Jalen,
let him have it. You let that man be 6 foot. All right, let him be 6 foot. All right. I wanted to be 6 foot growing up too, and I thought I was gonna be 6 foot because both my grandpas was over 6'5", and then God said, "Nah, fam, boom,
nah, damn."
Hey, look, and in the program in college, my brother saw it and was cracking up. He was like, "When the fuck did you get 6'2", 205?" And I was like, "Look, you leave it alone. That's what they put in there. I'm every bit of 5'10", 175."
You know what's gonna suck about that week is I'm sure all week long they'll be talking about how this is, Tua, the guy that took Hurts's job, and now it's the two of them playing against each other.
Yeah, they're gonna use the Alabama narrative,
that's
but
the story that they're gonna go.
Well, it's gonna be the Alabama Georgia game because if you think about all the dudes that are from Alabama,
Yep,
that's all it is.
Yeah, literally.
But
two Alabama quarterbacks going together, and then Alabama, and then Georgia. Yeah.
But even still, the best thing that happened to Jalen Hurts was leaving Alabama because
Definitely.
I'll continue to say it. Lincoln Riley can truly unlock that man. So,
sure.
I have no problem with that. Like that was the best thing that happened to him. Yes, that is your mama up there, but daddy's on the show right now. All right, week 8. We talked about this. This was the craziest part of both Miami and New England's schedule is they're going to get their games out of the way early. So this is round 2, and this game is in Miami. And we know the history of New England traveling to Miami. It usually doesn't work out well, but at least this game's in October. There's a chance we can steal both games. There's a chance we can steal both games, realistically. Like
honestly,
I think you will. I was
thinking like no cramping up, no dehydration.
No, because Miami in October is pretty damn comfortable. So
that's perfect weather right there.
Like it's not hot. It's not hot as hell like it is right now in Texas. It's a lot calmer. It ain't cold yet, but it's comfortable. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Week 9, they have the Kansas City Chiefs. This will tell us exactly this. That'll tell us how good of a team Miami is.
Honestly,
that game right there.
I think so.
Because you've got two offensive-minded, innovative play callers. You've got a young defense that made it all the way to the Super Bowl and has a lot of experience now. You have a really good defense in Miami. Who draws up the better scheme? Oh, that's right. This is the game that's in Germany. That's right. This is gonna be like the greatest game that they've ever had overseas. Like that's a
Yeah.
phenomenal game. Like, and that game is
This
on
is
November
this is
5th. That
this is going to be the Tyreek Hill do too much game.
oh yeah. But you don't think Andy Reid already been like, all right, I got something for him. Like, you don't think he's already kind of
Yeah.
figured something out? Now, mind you, their DBs, most of their DBs, this is going to be their second year. Like most of their DBs, this is their second year in the league.
Yep. Big test.
And they did have a very difficult task in covering AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, which I don't think those are easy matchups either.
Big task,
especially a guy like AJ Brown. Like that's TO 2.0 right there. Like that's a monster you're covering.
And then honestly, I'm inclined to take Miami's DBs over Kansas City's DBs when it comes to.
I would because of the veterans that they have. Like
when it comes to stopping Kansas City's weapons versus stopping Miami's weapons, I'm riding with Miami.
Yeah. Well, and that we should have a better Jalen Ramsey this year.
Definitely.
Like we should. Like he had a rough last 2 seasons. I say rough, not statistically. It's just the Rams have had problems since the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's got to get back to doing. They asked him. He was doing too much. He was just doing too much.
He didn't have a choice. Who was his number
blitzing, 2? He was blitzing and covering, and this is like, bro, just go find the best receiver on the other side and cover him. That's what I want you to do. He was just doing too much.
Yeah. Well, his number 2 was not really there to help much.
No.
At least he knows he's got a guy on the other side that he can. All right, cool. I ain't got to worry about my assignments, and they've got pretty good safeties too, so they'll be fine.
No, their secondary safeties, corners, that even their nickelbacks, all of them legit.
Miami, like I said, Miami had a really good offseason. Like they acquired some good talent for that defense. Like they made the right moves. Say what you want about the quarterback, but they made the right moves. They did what they were supposed to. Now, of course, letting Gesicki go was however you want to feel about it. I actually thought Gesicki was good for that offense, minus all the attempted dances that he was trying to do in the end zone. Like, don't ever do that shit ever again. Don't do that shit in New England. Bill Belichick will bench your ass. Don't do that shit.
Oh my gosh.
You can't be like the offbeat guy on the team full of dogs. Like because
you got one in.
Well, he was supposed to be hitting the
But at least in Gesicki's defense, he can learn from the TikTok dancing master in Juju Smith-Schuster.
Y'all do have Juju.
Oh my God! That's in heaven.
New England's gonna be interesting.
Oh yeah, we know. We had this conversation. Week 11 after their Week 10 bye, they go visit your Las Vegas Raiders. Sorry Raiders.
Oh yeah.
I hope y'all at least score 2 touchdowns in that game, but you might.
Oh, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be rolling by then. Vegas, we're gonna be rolling.
We're gonna be rolling what? Rolling dubs or rolling?
This is the city of parades. This is going to be the city of parades. Look, Golden Knights just won. The Ace is going to win.
Don't even do it, man.
Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself.
Raiders next.
Do not do this, okay?
Raiders next.
No.
Raiders next.
Don't even. No. Look. Check this out. For all the Raider fans out there, do not listen to this man Mel right now. Okay?
Look, do not clip this up. Do not put this on the TikTok.
Do not do this man Mel. Okay. The Raiders are sniffing nowhere near a Super Bowl this year.
They'll be lucky to be the 3rd team in their own division.
So listen. We're not.
The season has not started. I can be delusional at this point. We ain't mini camp.
Listen, take it from 2 Patriots fans. Do you really trust Josh McDaniels as a head coach?
Hey, it's not even that I don't trust Josh McDaniels because I stopped trusting him when we signed him last year. But it's the fact that Jimmy G is nowhere near.
Look, Jimmy G. And we can do it
as a backup.
Your backup quarterback's like 41 years old.
Like
he's in the land of the porn stars. He's motivated.
His name is
have a running back unless Josh Jacobs signs that tender, right?
That's true.
Yeah, that's true too. We don't have our running back is on the fritz. We got Brucey as our quarterback because Jimmy G.
Josh said he's signing. He understands the situation. Josh will be there. He got his new number. He's ready to rock and roll, man.
Yeah,
we have Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite at quarterback.
Like no,
yes, we do.
Jimmy G being motivated is not a good thing. He's in Vegas.
Vote for Pedro.
Porn stars. Like, what do you mean?
Yes, and he's got free lifetime
And that's not good.
Yeah, he can go to any brothel
That
for
man gonna be
free
missing practice
for
because he
life.
over there getting wet. I'm gonna leave it at that. This show is not for kids, so just except for my kid,
Yeah.
you can't hear anything because I got headphones in, so doesn't matter.
Oh man, they're just no. We're not going to get the Raiders fans' hopes up because we already know they can be insane. Okay, but with that defense, and Mr.
Until kickoff of week 1, I can say craziness for that.
Fair enough. They follow that up with the week 12 matchup of the New York fuck ass Roger Jets. I'm gonna keep using every other name but the actual name of that team. I don't like the Jets. I despise them with passion.
You're a Patriots fan, so we can understand that. Like,
even if I wasn't, I have no reason to like the Jets whatsoever.
I just don't like how they.
I don't like their logo. I don't like anything about them.
I don't like the little chant, the little J. I don't like that shit.
Oh,
the fact that they just live on that one Super Bowl by one of the weakest quarterbacks in NFL history. It's annoying.
100%.
I can't take it.
Yeah.
Can't take it.
Week 13, I have this game circled as a game that could be underratedly a very entertaining game, and that is against the Washington Commanders. Or
we're gonna
the
walk
Washington football team. I don't know what to call them yet.
We're gonna walk them.
That's gonna be.
We're gonna call them the Washington Magics. That's what we're gonna call it because Magic Johnson is gonna make it work for us. We're gonna.
That's not a bad thing, though.
That's interesting.
We already got the Wizards. So we're gonna go with the Washington Magics.
Hey, I would definitely put that. If I was Magic Johnson, I'd put that down on the paper. Like, hey, yo, so look, check this out. Just hear me out, though. Just hear me out. Like it flows, right? No,
yeah. And the logo, you already got the W. All you gotta do is just flip the W. Now it's the M.
Exactly.
Boom.
And then throw some
logos right there.
I
was just gonna say that look like that's a college logo.
Yep. Throw some little.
It just be two. It'll just be the W and then the M on top with little sparkles on it for magic.
Sparkles on it, and even like a little wand or something in there.
You gotta do something better than that. But all right. I mean, the uniforms would be dope. All right, week 14, we have a Monday Night Football game that should not be a Monday Night Football game, but it is anyway, against the Tennessee Titans. I hope like hell Will Levis is playing by this time so he can get his ass exposed.
Free Malik Willis.
They got two young quarterbacks that can't play quarterback. That is ridiculous.
Free Malik Willis.
What?
That's all I got.
It's like hi.
No, she's saying bye. I don't know why she's saying bye.
Oh, okay,
the show ain't even over yet.
Hey,
we got 7 more minutes.
Like 20 minutes.
But
it happens. This is what they do.
Yeah. 100%.
She's like, I know that's the producer of the show. She's like, look, you're gonna start wrapping this shit up. Daddy got to do daddy things.
Yeah, look, big Fro don't care. All right, big Fro don't care.
That's little body big Fro.
Yes, she'll be 2 next month. So she's giving me a glimpse of the terrible 2s. That's why I call her my toddler terrorist.
Hey, I feel you. You.
But I have really nothing else to say about that game except I hope Will Levis is playing just so he can get his ass handed to him because I don't like him either. It was like the one quarterback I couldn't stand in this draft.
I see blowout. Honestly, the Titans just aren't a good team.
Like Derrick Henry can only do so much in this game, and it ain't going.
They just release him, trade him, do something.
Yeah. Week 15, we revisit that team that we just talked about that I can't stand in the New York fuck ass Jets. I hope Rodgers has a shoulder injury by this time, or he's suffering from press conference L7 syndrome, whatever the case may be. I don't know. This is right before Christmas, so like I said, a great early Christmas present will be watching them get blown out by Miami. That'd be phenomenal. Speaking of Christmas presents, because on Christmas Eve they have the Dallas Cowboys. That would be a great second gift. Early
wow.
Gift. Like week 16, that game will be interesting simply because I'm really wanting to see what the records will look like, but for both teams by that time.
Definitely.
Hopefully the Cowboys are spiraling out of control.
Absolutely.
Hopefully one of those predictions of mine will possibly come true, and we'll talk about that when we get to hot seat coaches, and we'll see. Week 17, which I circled on this one as the most entertaining game outside of the Chiefs on their whole schedule, and that's against the Baltimore Ravens. That
game is going to be entertaining.
That's going to be a very entertaining game.
That game is definitely going to be entertaining.
That game is in Baltimore on New Year's Eve. So, and celebrating
Oh,
and watching that game. And
it's gonna be cold too.
And it's gonna be
Oh
cold,
yeah,
but it's probably gonna be snowing in Baltimore, damn near.
it's definitely gonna. Yeah, it's Miami's not gonna like that.
They'll be all right. Hey man, track athletes, we got to run in the cold too.
Yeah, it's all good. We just got to
That's
stretch.
that's why we wear tights.
Just got to stretch a little bit more. That's it.
Yeah, but you don't
Warm up
get
a little
cold,
longer.
though.
Yeah. Hey, they make cold weather tights. All right, they got fleece on the inside.
Yeah.
I got them. I don't got a top and a bottom pair, and they work great in 40-degree and under weather. Like they really do.
Well, unfortunately, it's gonna be about 15 degrees
probably
in Baltimore.
And if the wind is doing anything, if the wind is blowing at all, it's gonna be a miserable game.
They just got to double up. They'll be all right.
Every pass that Tua throw is gonna get drifted over to the left every single time. It's just gonna go.
I'm not fucking with you right now, Mel. Week 18 TBD against the Buffalo Bills, because we talked about it. All games after week 11 have the ability to be flexed because they now belong to pretty much all networks, which is going to be strange. I'm wondering how many games will get flexed during the season because of that.
This game will get flexed because both those teams are going to be ass. So it's going to be no reason for it to be on TV.
Stephon Diggs is going to be protesting and he's going to be sitting down. He's gonna be at 980 yards and he's gonna sit down because he won his 1,000 and he ain't gonna get it.
Yeah, he's gonna be asking for a trade by week 8.
And it ain't gonna happen.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Let's flip the script and let's get to the Super Bowl losers. The first loser, the team that whoa, hey man. What's wrong with you? You okay? You need some milk?
I'm not happy.
No, she ain't happy at all. Like,
you need some milk. Oh my goodness.
Okay, give me just a second. So week 1 they opened up against New England. We said we kind of talked about that already. So got a old Super Bowl rematch. Twice over.
Yep.
So, should be a good game nonetheless. I like the idea of what the defense of New England should be able to do. I'm curious to see how this Eagles offense really looks now that Nick Sirianni's really kind of got a flow going. You did lose Miles Sanders. We'll see how much that truly affects this team because Miles Sanders was a big part of the beginning of the season for them. So we'll see how that looks because now you've got like Boston Scott and
shout out to SB.
They signed, was it Penny, right? Rashad Penny, correct? That's the other running back they signed.
Rashad Penny,
yeah. So if he stays healthy, Rashad Penny will arguably be better than what Miles Sanders was.
Yeah, because you get a bigger, faster back. He kind of fits the style of the offense a little bit better.
Part of the He-Man Revis Hayden.
I will always. It'll never change. Always, never. Darrell Revis never gets love from Melvin. 0.
Yes. Week 2, they go and visit the NFL's most overrated team from last year, in the Minnesota Vikings. They were the falsest team from last year, and if you couldn't see that by week 7 or 8, I don't know what to tell you, boss. That team was false as hell.
Who was that?
The Vikings.
Oh yeah, no, Vikings is ass. They're not. There's no help for them this year.
No, they were a product of winning a lot of very close games, which is good. In football, you got to win those games, but they won. Majority of their wins were those games, and
that's not gonna happen this year.
Nobody did anything to you. Crazy. All right, week 3, they play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as Mel has now dubbed them.
The
Monday Night Football.
They're gonna blow them asses out, but it's all right.
Who blowing who out?
The Eagles. The Eagles gonna kick the shit out.
I thought you were saying the Bucs were gonna blow them out. I was like, what?
Oh no, I'm not. No, I'm not crazy.
I mean, you might be.
No, I mean, I'm not that far crazy.
Fair enough. All right, week 4, we've got the Washington Commanders on deck.
Yeah,
so that's the game. These division games, especially in the NFC East, are very, very interesting.
Yeah, we'll win this one, and then we'll lose the next one.
All right.
It's early, so we can sneak up on them in early.
Week 5, you've got what's left of the Los Angeles Rams. So pretty much Cooper Kupp in Stafford, and I guess Cam Akers.
They're gonna sacrifice the Rams that night. That's gonna be
Well,
we got first
at least
tomorrow.
It's a 4 o'clock game,
What's
so
up,
it won't be too bad.
Yeah, with any luck, they'll sit Matthew Stafford down for that.
Like, I think the only The only reason you're going to watch that game is for if you play fantasy football at all, because you probably have some people playing in that game.
I got that coming for you next show. Don't even worry about it. It's already in,
Week 6, we have got the New York Rogers on deck. Another one of
the
them
New York Rogers.
I'm gonna keep changing their name. Like, I'm not gonna call them by their government name. I just can't do it. It's just not my thing. And I hope that the Eagles sack the shit out of Rogers. I just do.
It's going to be ugly. I can tell you that game is going because they have not, at least as far as I know, the Jets have not fixed that offensive line. So it's going to be ugly.
I think there was a song about that. It's an old hip hop song about getting ugly.
I might have to find it.
Yeah, Week 7. We talked about this game just a second ago, but it is against the Miami track team. It should be a very entertaining game.
Oh, yeah.
I expect fireworks, and I'm glad it's a Sunday night football game. So that'll be a great game to watch late at night to end Week 7. Looking forward to it.
And to a season.
Like, I can say that Sunday night football games are probably some of the better games we have on TV during the NFL season. Because even the Monday night games have kind of started to go down a bit. Like, Thursday night, whatever. They are what they are. Like, you hope for the best, but
some of these teams just got to pick it up. They got to get better.
Yeah, I mean, they were smart last year, starting off with the division game of the AFC West with the Chargers and Chiefs. That was a smart idea. You needed to draw ratings, and that's a perfect way to draw ratings. Week 8, Mel already talked about this, but they got the Washington Commanders again. This time they traveled, and he said that the Commanders will win the first game and then lose the second one. So there you are.
Yeah.
Week 9, they have got the Dallas Pink Skirts.
That's gonna be a dog walk. This is gonna wear this right around Mike McCarthy, the talk of him running an animal shelter in Dallas.
Well, especially since he's calling plays this season. So if you want to know what his call playing ability looks like, just go look at his Green Bay days. It'll tell you everything you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Or just listen to Aaron Rodgers when he talked about it in some of these press conferences about the offensive play calls and all this other stuff. But we'll see. I'm not the biggest Kellen Moore fan, but his presence will be missed.
A whole lot.
Week 10, they got a bye week. So that's not bad. I don't think they'll necessarily need it per se. Like, they could have probably benefited from having a later bye week, but week 10 is not too bad. Hopefully they stay relatively healthy. They weren't on that list of NFL teams that were highly injury prone last year. They had a couple, but not too bad like some other teams. So week 10 ain't too terrible, but I understand why they put it in, because their week 11 game, Monday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. So you probably need a break before you go have that Super Bowl rematch. Now, this is, to me, very interesting by the NFL. You waited to put the Super Bowl matchup in the middle of the season, which is good on them. I hate when they put Super Bowl rematches at the beginning of the season, because it doesn't do the two teams any justice. You put it in the middle of the season, both teams should be riding high. They should be, rolling. Yep. They'll probably be leading their respective divisions by this time, possibly leading their conferences respectively by this time. So this is a pivotal game. Yep. This could have,
preview,
this could
a rematch preview, maybe.
Possibly, could shake up some of your number one seeding standings at that time. So, time will tell.
Definitely. I just think it's more of it builds for a better game when you have them later in the season other than the season.
Yeah, no, it sets this up to be a phenomenal game. I'm glad it's a Monday Night Football game. This will be probably the best Monday Night Football game of the entire season anyway. So
it'll probably get the highest ratings of the year.
Yeah, as it should. Like, as long as it's not like that Rams Chiefs game. I don't like football games like that. Like, it was cool when it happened, but I don't really like games like that. Like,
you talking about that super high scoring game?
You need defense. I don't care what anybody says. You need defense in football. Damn it. Like,
defense is
like you need running backs, Wayne.
I was waiting on to say that. But the key is you need defense. You need a well-rounded team. All right. You don't need 160 points scored in a football game. Like, that don't even make sense. That doesn't even sound right.
That's true.
Like, that shit sounds ridiculous in a football. That was a Madden game. That's what that was. That was a Madden on rookie mode game.
Definitely.
Yep.
Like, there was no defense played in that game whatsoever. Week 12, we have the Buffalo Bills, or what's left of the Bills by this time. This is a Thanksgiving game. So Eagles and Bills on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, don't play the Eagles on Thanksgiving.
That's after Thanksgiving. Sorry.
Oh.
That's 11/20. I saw the 26. I'm used to seeing Thanksgiving in that 26, 27. I forgot we're on like the 20 the 23rd or 4th this year. We have a weird Thanksgiving Day this year. It's on a day that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Who's got the Black Friday game?
I think the Cardinals are involved in that one.
That's bad. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Cardinals. Like I think they're flexing it anyway. They ended up flexing it already and made a much better game for that time period. So
as they should.
Look at Indiana Jones over here trying to climb off my gamer's chair. Hey man, why you trying to get CPS called on me in the middle of this pod? What you doing? All right. Week 13, December 3rd, we've got the San Francisco 49ers.
Great game.
We'll see what we'll see what their quarterback situation looks like too by this time.
Definitely.
By that time, you should have a healthy Brock Purdy. You
Purdy
should have a. The question becomes: will Trey Lance still be on the roster by this time?
That's the question.
Because that's right around. I think that's either right before, right. That's right after or right before the trade deadline. I don't remember what the trade deadline was set for this year. So that's right in that window. So
I guess it depends on their record at the time.
Well, you got Sam Darnold on the roster too, so.
Forgot Sam Darnold ass is there too.
He's probably going to be your week 1 starter potentially, like from everything that's come out of camp so far. So.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, so definitely.
They've been talking down on him, and then the interview that George Kittle did definitely didn't help his case. So
no,
we shall see, man.
I missed that. I'm gonna have to go look at that one. I missed that one.
It's Trey in Sam's race, but honestly, the way Sam has been playing, from what other people are saying, it's more Trey's job to lose at this point until Purdy gets back on the field.
Okay.
In due time. All right, week 14, we have the Dallas Pink Skirts again. This game is at Jerry World, and I see no reason why the Eagles won't go into Jerry World and spoil everything that makes Jerry Jones happy.
Dallas is gonna win one division game all year. Like they're gonna probably beat the Giants once, and that's it.
Man, Mel is standing on that horse. He is standing on that one. Like
I don't even see them winning a divisional game. Honestly, I think they lose all the divisional games this year.
What do you think,
to the Giants.
I actually like the Cowboys. I think that adding Cooks, and then you still got Gallup, and you still got CeeDee Lamb, and I think Dak Prescott can air it out. We saw that a couple of years ago, right when he's thrown for 400 yards a game.
Those are all the reasons why I feel they're not going to do it. Is because you think adding more weapons to the air is going to make Dak Prescott better. Nope. What makes them better is everything that Wayne hates: the running game.
Well, I do think the Michael Gallup's due for a better season, because usually receivers coming out, or just players in general coming off of that type of an injury that first year, they're usually pretty slow. So he should be a lot better, in better shape, and not look as rough as he did when he came back last year. So Gallup will be fine. The question becomes which CeeDee Lamb's going to show up. And Brandon Cooks, as long as he can avoid getting hit in the head, he'll be just fine.
And how good is Pollard going to be? Because it's not that I hate the running game. I just think you can plug and play anybody. So let's see if Tony Pollard proves me right.
Yeah, and don't forget old buddy from K-State.
Or if he actually plays, because we remember Tony Pollard did suffer a serious injury last year.
Yeah, Deuce Vaughn. I think Deuce will start it off, and depending on if they bring back Zeke or not, we'll see.
Or if they explore bringing in Dalvin Cook.
Or Dalvin Cook.
Or they've discussed bringing in Leonard Fournette too. That's been brought up in conversation. So this dark period that we're about to enter for the NFL, which pretty much everybody is home on vacation, this will be interesting. I don't think we have any major signings that happen until camp opens back up. But there'll be a lot of conversations. I mean, I know the Titans already offered D-Hop a contract. There was a lot of conversations out in New England with D-Hop, so we'll see what happens. He might be the only one that gets signed during the dark period, just because he's already had all these site visits already before everybody stopped having mandatory mini camps. But anywho, I bring up the week 15 with a team we don't talk about much, except for earlier. In the Seattle Seahawks. This is a very interesting team because I'm wondering how they'll look this year as opposed to last year, because this is a team that kind of surprised some people last year. Geno Smith being a Renaissance man, deciding to have one of his better career years last year. DK Metcalf was having some issues at one point, then sorted it out. Tyler Lockett getting older. But then you also had the emergence of Kenneth Walker.
And they brought in Jackson Smith and Jigba.
They did. And that I like that a lot. Bringing in Smith and Jigba is going to be good. So there's a chance for the Seahawks to be 100% relevant in the NFC. They easily could be a top 5 team in the NFC easily. Like they
I
really
think it all
can.
depends on that. I think it really all leans on does that young defense turn into what he expects them to be?
Yeah.
Like they're supposed to. I wouldn't say the Legion of Boom because I think they're better cover guys than like tackle guys in that
Yeah.
secondary. So if that secondary turns into what, because basically they're playing with 5 cornerbacks, they have no safeties. Like
Yeah.
like they flipped all of their corners into safeties, so they can go literally 5 across the board to cover pretty much any team in the league.
Yeah.
So if it pans out,
They brought Bobby Wagner back too. So you brought some veteran presence in that locker room too. Again, brought him back.
mhm,
So that'll be good just for the young guys, just for the sake of somebody with that experience, the playoff experience, all that. That'll be good for them too. So good mentor to have for a young defense. They have got let's see. Christmas Day. Strange game to have on Christmas Day, but they've got the Little Giants on the schedule now. That game is in Philly. So in Philly in December, snow game.
we already know how that goes.
Daniel Jones going to pull his hamstring because he's going to have to run for his life in that game because the Philadelphia Bulldogs will be coming for him.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And by that time, Daniel Jones will have 19 touchdown passes for the whole season.
15.
Him and Santa Claus will be on the run.
100%. December 31st. So we have another game on New Year's Eve. That is going to be against the Arizona Cardinals, and no one cares.
Nope.
No one cares. There's no relevance to that game except fantasy football value, and maybe some DraftKings and some FanDuel if you're into that kind of stuff too. There'll be some plays to be made in there.
But we'll see.
I would avoid any kind of parlays involved in that game because
Yeah,
you just
they're
don't
running.
know.
They're going. They may break the single. They may break the single game rushing record as a team against Arizona.
And sack record as a team.
Or you can say that Kyler Murray will because they'll be running for his life that whole game.
So he's gonna make
back.
up 5.
If he's back, I don't really know, how he's gonna look when he gets back. So they may be so far out of it, they might bench his ass by this time.
Mm-hmm.
And week 18, they followed up with the Little Giants one more time. I think Philly wins both of those games. I don't even think the Giants win either of those division games whatsoever.
No.
Like,
No, sorry.
I think, the Eagles will win both games against the Giants. I do think they'll split with Dallas, and I think there's a chance they split with Washington as well. I
don't think they split with Dallas.
I give Dallas a little bit of just a little
I can
bit.
see that as well. I might give
just
Dallas
because we know Dallas and Philly have played some pretty damn good
pretty
games
tough games. They do
against one another,
definitely
so
back home, so.
it's not out of the realm of possibility that they split. It's not. It's also very possible that Philly just sweeps the series too. It's definitely, but
It can definitely go either way.
but they're not getting swept.
I'm going to lean because they're not. No, definitely not that. I'm gonna lean on the side that Philly will lose one game in division. That'll be Washington, and that'll be that.
I tell you what, I'll be bold about this. If somehow, some way, Dallas sweeps the Philadelphia Eagles, I will wear a Dak Prescott jersey on the next episode following that game. And
you're gonna worry about that.
My mom is a diehard Cowboys fan. I am the furthest thing from, but I will find a Dak Prescott jersey just for that episode if that happens.
You heard
If
it
not,
here.
You good?
But
you good? You ain't gotta worry about that.
hey,
You're all right.
Well,
I told you if I'm wrong, I'll acknowledge it. I have no problem acknowledging that whatsoever.
Yeah, that you don't have to worry about. So, Wayne.
Yeah.
Before you, any last words? Can you want to give at least one more running back credit? Because I know you gave Bo Jackson some love. Can you just give me one more running back?
My second all-time favorite player is Emmitt Smith.
Other than Emmitt Smith, he fucked it up. Other than Emmitt Smith.
I'd say all-time greatest running backs. My top 2 is 1A, 1B. I don't think it's 1 and 2 is Barry Sanders, Jim Brown.
Okay, there we go. All right. Some running back love out of Wayne. We appreciate Wayne coming through whenever he does come through.
Well, R.I.P. Jim Brown. Anyways, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Jim Brown.
Definitely.
GQ, last words.
Absolutely. Great football show. Had fun with you guys as always. Wayne, appreciate you for coming through, and make sure y'all check Wayne out on all things Patriots because he puts on a phenomenal show. So make sure y'all definitely check that out, like and subscribe that. And of course, as you can see from all the taglines on the bottom, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe from the sidelines because we here. Told y'all we ain't going nowhere. We only coming up from here.
Yep.
Sure you do.
Mulich.
Great football Friday. What a great football Friday. Appreciate you guys for sliding through. Shout out to all of our audio listeners, all of our visual listeners. Make sure you guys follow all the socials. You guys see all the taglines down there. Make sure you guys support us, man. We're trying to do some big things here. Appreciate all of the chat. If you don't know, you will soon know. That is insider for my boys up here on the screen. But appreciate the chat for slide through today. You guys made the show what it is. Yeah, we'll see you guys on Monday.
Yeah. Yes. Not only follow the socials, do us a big favor, especially on YouTube. Leave a comment, leave a like, tell us what we're doing, tell us what you don't like. I'm coming up with a saying: debate us, don't hate us. I'm trying to. I'm gonna get that uh, put on some shirts for us. Um, we're gonna keep this thing rolling. We're gonna keep this thing moving. Shout out to everybody who was here. You know the usual. My boys, GQ, Moolage, Wayne, valued asset to this show. Little body, big fro. She always makes her debut. You know her little spotlights here.
Yes, absolutely.
And yeah, everybody in the chat, in the backgrounds, appreciate you. Let's keep this thing going. Let's start off small. Let's get to 1,000. Let's get us to 1,000.
Just
Get us to 1,000 followers, and then we'll work our way from there. But like I said, like, subscribe, comment, chat it up. You know, in the comments, it helps us out a lot. But yeah, thank you for coming through. I know we ran a little long today, but so what? It's Father's Day weekend. We had to get the fathers chatting a little bit. So appreciate you. We love you. Y'all have a good one. Till next Friday.